In certain situations, you may find it helpful to hand paint in a border or an edge effect. But what about those scenarios where you found an edge online or where you scanned something or where you have another element that you want to bring into a different photograph? Well, we'll explore how we can work with different types of frames here. Now in this case, I have a photograph of Joe here. He's a professional photographer and surfer. He's a great artist. And what I want to do is I want to add this film frame. This one comes to us from the folks at ON1 Software, and it's from the software program PhotoFrame. Now if you don't have access to frames, don't worry about it. You can simply do a search online and you'll find a number of different frames that you can purchase or use for free. You can also always create these on your own by simply taking a picture of something or scanning something. Alright, well here, now that I have my frame, what I want to do is I want to add this traditional film border to this image just to add to this overall black and white conversion and to make this image look a little bit more like film. I want to make this photograph have a little bit more character by adding this edge. Well, all that we need to do is to open up both documents and then to use the Move tool and to click and drag. Once we click and drag, we'll see that this document will come in on top of the original photograph. Here I'll go ahead and reposition this or resize it as needed and then put it over the entirety of the photograph. Well, the next thing that I need to do, of course, is I need to limit where this is affecting the image. Yet before I do that, I want to share with you a few interesting tips about working with frames. You know, a lot of times I find they're either black or white or something like that. And so what you can do to preview how a frame might look is to try two different blend modes, multiply and screen. Let me show you what I mean. Well, here if we change our blending mode to multiply, what that will do is it will knock out all of the white so that we just see the black elements on this layer. In that case, we can start to envision how this frame might look. Now it gets a little lost down here and we can see the background over here, but nonetheless it gives us a nice preview of how this frame might look. Alright, well let's go back to that normal blending mode. Now other frames, what you might want to do is actually invert them. You can do that by pressing Command or Control I. Now certain frames you'll see this way. Everything's black except for the frame, maybe it's white. Well, in those situations, try that blending mode out of screen. And what you'll be able to do here again is preview how this frame will work. Now again with this image it's lost up top, but down below we can start to see how this would look if we were to choose a white or a brighter option for this frame. Alright, well here with this file what we want to do is go back to normal and then invert this. We're not going to use either of those blending modes. We just went there to kind of preview how could this frame work? What could we do here? What are some options with this frame? Alright, well now that we've previewed the frame and kind of explored how this might look, what we need to do next is simply limit what this covers up. So we'll click in that frame 1 layer and then we'll grab one of our selection tools like the quick select tool. And we're just going to make a selection of the central area and then we'll go ahead and click on the add layer mask icon. Yet a quick word of caution here. A lot of times when you click on your add layer mask icon, all of a sudden you realize, oh no, I did the exact opposite of what I wanted to. My mask is inverted. Well, you know that this isn't a big deal. All you need to do is to press Command or Control I in order to invert that so that you're just seeing that outer edge. Now if we turn off the underlying layer, you'll really see what's happening here. Again, it's just revealing the outer border. The image is sitting underneath this. Now the great thing about this is that we can control this. You'll notice that the edge down here is a little bit too white. It's kind of a bright highlight. Well, just click in your mask, go to your mask panel, and then click on Mask Edge. Well, in Mask Edge, what you can do is shift the edge one way or another. You notice that as I shift this one way, the edge becomes much more white, has more of that selected there, or I can remove that just by shifting that in a little bit. I can also smooth the edge out if I want something a little bit softer, add some feathering, and I think that looks pretty good. Here, we'll go ahead and click OK. Alright, well let's press F to go to full screen view mode so that we can evaluate our work. Here you have it, our overall before and then after.